Greetings, VAMers! How are you? Well, at long last, Final Fantasy XV has been released, and so far, the reviews are pretty good. Hell, there are even a few great reviews out there. As of this editorial, Elliot is working on his review on Final Fantasy XV, as well as his own overview. His indispensable opinion will be posted here very soon. Square Enix is back! After the strange but nice love letter to the fans that was WoF, World of Final Fantasy, and so much mediocrity, releasing Final Fantasy XV after 10 years of development, Square Enix is on the verge of one hell of a comeback indeed. Final Fantasy XV thus far is solid, fun, with a good story, and the character development is good too, and it's what Final Fantasy was meant to be! It's what it was always about! And now Square is making DLC. Free DLC to help refine the story and the gameplay. Just yes. There are more good-looking projects in development on Square's list. Nier Automata, Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, Dragon Quest XI, Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, Kingdom Hearts High Definition 2.8 The Final Chapter Prologue. Yes, I know, quite a mouthful. The Dissidia reboot, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 on the PlayStation 4, and, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're very busy people. But there's something that they have not done yet. A Warriors series based on Final Fantasy. A little background. There is a series that started in the early days of the PlayStation 2 called Dynasty Warriors. Well, Dynasty Warriors 2 to be precise. Created by Omega Force and Koei, which later merged with Tecmo. Why am I starting with Dynasty Warriors 2? Well, Dynasty Warriors 1 was a traditional fighting game similar to Soul Calibur, where you pick a warrior from a kingdom and, yeah, just fight there. Whereas Dynasty Warriors 2 was an open world of hack-and-slash combat. With the Dynasty Warriors series, you picked a warrior from one of the three major kingdoms. Wu, which was led by Sun Jian, Shu, which was led by Liu Bei, and Wei, which was led by Cao Cao. Funny fact, back in the day, they used to call him Cao Cao. Well, not everyone knew how to pronounce his name properly, or a lot of Chinese names properly, but no one got in the way of Cao Cao. Then once you pick your warrior and your kingdom, you go fight basic but fun missions based around the history and mythology, and then go from there again. Dynasty Warriors is based on Chinese history, specifically the period known as the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, set between the years 184 AD and 234 AD. And they were so much fun! Granted, they took some liberties with historical accuracy, but they made it interesting enough for me to go and learn the genuine history. The gameplay is a very simple hack-and-slash style, but surprisingly addictive, and they've been refining it over the years. My favourite out of the series so far is Dynasty Warriors 4. 7 perhaps in terms of the overall story structure, but 4 had the best gameplay and, in some respects, the best matching voices. Though when you got Lu Bu being voiced by Jamison Price in Dynasty Warriors 5 and onwards, you couldn't top that. Despite low budgets and staffing, Koei Tecmo have not only extended their main series, but created other franchises based around the formula. Dynasty Warriors Gundam, based on the Gundam series, I know it's appropriate, Samurai Warriors, The Legends of Troy, even their own take on Fist of the North Star, using their very own formula. For those who don't know what Fist of the North Star is, consider it like a Japanese version of Mad Max, but still unique enough to stand alone. They made 2 games based on it, and they were really fun and really good, and again, good character development. And they need to make a 3rd one. There's no excuse for them to not do it. And of course, with their own series, they had crossovers. Particularly their 2 main ones, Dynasty and Samurai Warriors, to create the Warriors Orochi games. Where the Warriors from China and the Warriors from Japan have their timelines mixed up, and then of course, it was the basic good versus evil, but it was still very fun. And, hell, a little thought-provoking in one spot. Also, Koei, if you're watching this, you need to have one more expansion for Warriors Orochi 3. Namely, a couple of other characters from the Soul Calibur universe. Ivy Valentine, Mitsurugi, Siegfried, and Nightmare are a must. And of course, English voice acting. People will pay a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo campaign just for that. Plus, I know a company that would be willing to work with you to make the English cast happen. Sound Cadence Studios. Have a look at their website, they are very good at what they do. Anyway, back to the point. Not too long ago, Koei Tecmo partnered with Nintendo and made the surprise hit Hyrule Warriors for Nintendo Wii U. And that really got a lot of attention. With good reason, the game was great! Despite its simplicity, you could play so many different characters from the Zelda universe, and each character felt unique with their own weapons, fighting styles, powers, and personalities. Not to mention they expanded on the basic formula to really give it a fresh feel. Particularly using items such as bombs, boomerangs, and bow and arrows, and the enemy lock-on feature that started in Ocarina of Time was transferred into this as well, and it works beautifully. The game is still popular, and they continue to release new weapons, gaming modes, even fully realized characters as DLC. Why Groose is yet to be made a playable character is something I don't understand. But either way, that is a sin. High hopes for the inevitable Hyrule Warriors 2 for the Nintendo Switch in that regard. It will happen! So, why not do a Warriors series for Final Fantasy? The ideas are limitless! You can make each character from the main series partake in a desperate battle against a great evil. I know the city already has this down, but it's a fighting game, not an all-out open-world hack-and-slash. Though, a few elements from Dissidia could make this game work. Think about it. Cloud partnering up with characters like Cyan, Steiner, and Auron, going up against hordes of monsters, or evil soldiers we can mix and match. Yuna, Garnet, Quistis, and Terra going out using summons like Shiva, Ifrit, or, of course, Bahamut, to take on hordes of monsters again. Then imagine Sephiroth, Kefka, Caius, and some other Final Fantasy villains going all out against the heroes. The gameplay ideas write themselves! As for the story, all you need is something simple. Yeah, just like Warriors Orochi. Orochi came along, screwed up the timeline, decided to bring these two really vastly different cultures together. Then Orochi tried to make them his slaves, but of course they rebelled, and yeah, it's as simple as they get, but it was surprisingly well told. And it was really fun. And really difficult not to get invested, because somehow those characters grew on you. I was rooting for them. I wanted to see Orochi taken down. With a Final Fantasy Warriors game, may as well call it Fantasy Warriors from now on, you can bring in some new big bad villain. Probably Chaos at first, or maybe Chaos all over again, or preferably a new big badass. Then mix up the timelines, people have to fight this new evil, and so on and so forth. Now when it comes to customization, there's no shortage. So many weapons for so many characters, it is glorious. Then there could be armor upgrades, magic! You can have so much fun with that. Big explosions of fire, giant shards of ice, lightning strikes, vines whipping. Each element could be more effective against some certain enemies, and perhaps the only way to damage an enemy at all. Summons? Okay, bear with me because it's a little complicated here, but you could have one of two charge gauges. One is for when you summon a particular Eidolon, or Esper, or Guardian Force, or whatever the hell you want to call them in this one. Charge speed could depend on either how powerful the summon is, or how many enemies need to be taken down. So many options. The other gauge is for limit breaks. Just take a page from Hyrule Warriors with the magic meter, and then expand on it. Then take another page from one of the few great things in Final Fantasy X. In Final Fantasy X, the limit breaks were called overdrives. And it starts off as the stoic style, meaning that you take damage, your gauge builds up. But if you fulfill some certain requirements, you can make it so that they could build their magic gauge up in other ways. Like simply just striking an enemy, I believe that was called Warrior. Or taking down an enemy in general, or using your magic to attack the enemy or heal your allies, You could do the same thing here, and the sky is the limit. As for music, it's Final freaking Fantasy. The music from those games is usually incredible. Scores composed by Yoko Shimomura, Masashi Hamazu, Hitoshi Sakimoto, and especially Nobuo Uematsu. Their work can easily be rearranged for some great heavy metal rock, synthesized sounds, or, as we all know, use a full-on orchestra. Of course, you could reuse the orchestrated rendition of One Winged Angel. God, who wouldn't want that, right? As well as other brilliant pieces like Force Your Way, Don't Be Afraid, Flash of Steel, Assault, Battle Theme 1 from Final Fantasy 2, you know what I mean. Though when it comes to music, I think you can get creative, and I mean break away from the warrior game tradition a little, and get really creative. Usually these warrior games use rock-based tracks with the occasional orchestrated mix, which started in Dynasty Warriors 4. Before that, it was just all rock and roll. Still really good though. But with this, I say use the power that is the internet, and look up some great musicians and composers. Then commission these artists for different tracks. Here's my quick list for you. String Player Gamer. Just here for a moment, please. Yeah, this guy deserves so many more subscribers. Another great one is Stephen Kelly. Great voice actor, great singer, and a trained composer. I forgot the name of the program he uses, but it's a brilliant program that can create music that sounds almost exactly like a real orchestra. Steve is a big fan of Nobuo Uematsu as well, so that kind of helps. The Synthetic Orchestra, aka Dome for some reason, come on, that's a bit of a put down, isn't it, man? Has done some very solid covers of various games, and he knows how to mix orchestral with rock very well. His cover of You're Not Alone is a fine example. Taylor Davis would also be a great one to hire for the softer moments or subtle epics. Gavin Dunne, aka Miracle of Sound, will be good for composing, well, an original song or two actually for the credits, and some heavy story moments as well. Lindsey Sterling, what do you need to say about her? She's amazing! Though for a rock track or two, besides the Black Mages, Daniel Tidwell. Just listen to his Those Who Fight cover. The last one I can think of is Antonin Charvat, I think that's how it's pronounced, who is really inventive. Not only does he know how to make a really good orchestral cover, but he makes orchestral covers of rock songs. he is underrated as hell. Kind of sickens me, really. You can do so much with this. Square Enix, if you're watching this, work with Koei again and make Final Fantasy Warriors happen. Also, work with Sound Cadence Studios for the English casting. What do you guys think? Do you think Square Enix should actually make their own interpretation of a Warriors game? Or do you think they should just leave it well enough alone and just explore different avenues, or just let them continue what they're doing now? As always, please hash it down in the comments below. Many thanks for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, then aptly click the like button down below, and remember to share it with your friends who you know will enjoy this video. And if you want to see more from us, then click the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and don't forget to sign up for membership and the newsletter on our Voice Actor Magazine website. I'm David J.G. Doyle, signing off and thanking you.